What's the most awe-inspiring natural phenomenon you've ever seen? When I was about 17, just after I graduated from high school, I felt a little lost. No major crises in my life, I was just in a place where I really had no clue what was next. Took a thermos of grapefruit juice, no idea why grapefruit, really, and drove up to a hill at the top of my town listening to Heather Nova and writing things in a journal while I watched the sunrise. Such a little thing, but it gave me such a sense of peace and contentment. At Laurel Caverns in Pennsylvania, there's an area in the cave that a roller ball on a ledge that appears to be going uphill, but is actually going downhill. HTTPS uncovering per. Come visiting Laurel Caverns. Also, my best friend gave birth. Homegirl is like 5'8" and weighs 105 pounds, maybe. She pushed a 11-pound baby out. I had no words, I was traumatized for her. Also, in Cleveland, this isn't really big news, but the waves of Lake Erie freeze are over the road and it's so freaking neat. I've lived in the Puget Sound all my life. Mount Rainier is a massive presence always in the background. You sort of forget about it sometimes or take it for granted. Then some days you come around a corner while driving or over a hill during sunset or something. It's just huge and gorgeous. The colors and shadows with the rest of the mountain range below definitely inspires in me. Pretty lucky to get that during my commute sometimes. Very large waves breaking 20 feet above me, or I was pulled under. The sunlight coming through the water was so stunning. I accepted I was going to die. Stopped trying to hold my breath. Then just like that I was sitting on top of a rock breathing with barely a scratch on me. Sensory and emotional stimulation like I've never had since. Stunning. Northern lights were amazing too, as was the eclipse I saw. And nothing like those waves. When I was kid on a family trip to Hawaii, my dad and I became encircled by an enormous pod of spinner dolphins while on a jet ski. It was so incredible. I also agree with solar eclipse totality, that is my runner-up. I missed the one last week, but I got to experience it in Tibet in 2009, and the annular Ring of Fire one in 2012. Pretty sure this was just diffraction being weird, but here goes. Or this raindrop dangling on a spiderweb. And is for a couple of seconds it blinked different colors. Really bright ones too. First it was dark blue, then yellow, then pink, then green, then repeat. It was so cool. August 2019. I was on the bow of a ship in Nessie, Alaska at dusk, looking at the mild wide face of a tidewater glacier, when a 5.4 magnitude earthquake shook the ship and the land around us. The face of the glacier began caving off bergs like mad, and there were rock falls on either side of the fjord we were in. It was truly awesome. Litty of this month's solar eclipse passing right over my house. The most amazing sight was Comet Hale-Bopp with its clearly visible twin bi-colored tails was visible in the night sky for weeks in 1997. It more than made up for Halley's Comet a few years earlier, which was a dud. Driving through Colorado one vacation as a kid, and we saw a column of migrating birds that stretched to both horizons. We waited there probably half an hour and it didn't let up, just thousands of them as far as the eye could see. A migration of birds. It was like a river of birds in the sky. There had to have been a million. It lasted 2 hours. I don't know what kind of birds, they were small and black. It was in southern Florida. I think it was in the Mediterranean. One night, the bioluminescent algae was really active. There were dolphins in the water, and they left a light trail everywhere they went. Not sure if it was natural, but there was a huge forest fire near my reserve when I was a child. And I remember the sky being so red it was like being in Lord of the Rings. Watching a whole line of about 30 dolphins and one sea lion, who was clearly just along to have fun, all jumping out of the water synchronously. So far, the diamond ring and the wavy shadows during a solar eclipse. Would love to see the northern lights or a meteor shower. I hope to one day see aurora borealis and bioluminescence. But it'll be hard to top the totality of a solar eclipse 2017. A solar eclipse, it's like the universe giving us a celestial wink. reminding us to put on our cool shades and look up. NT. St. Helens residue on my porch. Couldn't believe the mountain blew up and part of it landed in Portland, Oregon. The morning sky literally turning. I think it was like purple over Western Mouse when Canada was on fire. I've seen 2 endangered sea turtles lay eggs in the wild, not in captivity, and I cried both times. The salt flats on a hot day. The mirage blends the ground with the sky. Feels like you left Earth. Sunrise at Haleakala in Hawaii, with what looked like waves of clouds rolling over the crest. Northern lights from the lower 48. Only time I've really had to question what I was seeing. A boat ride down a river full of cute caimans and bioluminescent algae. Seriously magical. The recent total solar eclipse. Right from my parents' front yard. I once saw a coyote eating a pack of cigarettes in the desert. Up went outside and touched grass. It was a phenomenon.